Okay. I come right on time today, maybe a little tiny bit late. I was going to try something with stream, doing a Simo stream, but for some reason it was not working at all whatsoever. I have no idea. Like, it just never said I went live. So I'll have to figure that out. That'll be a fun experiment before next time with Twitch. So welcome to the stream. How's it going? Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Monday afternoon. It is a little after 4 o'clock. It's time to draw a sticker. Today we're going to work on Rick Dillman, Pickle Jock, for our November sticker pack. Yes, I did name this character Rick because he is a pickle, and that way I can say, Pickle Rick! But that is basically the entire extent of the connection to Rick and Morty. There's no other connection here. If you were hoping for that, I'm sorry. I'm going to rip that Band-Aid off real quick. What we are working on is our November Patreon rewards. And for Patreon this month, well, for November, we are doing a slasher film starring some characters made out of theater foods. So if you didn't join us last week, we created our final girl, Poppy Kernel. She is made of popcorn. And then Friday, we created Chad Notchmore. Chad Notchmore is Nachos, who serves as the Plucky Stoner comic relief. So today we're diving into the third character. It's going to be our Jerk Jock. And of course, our Jerk Jock is a pickle, because what else would he be? Am I right? So without further ado, I guess I'll go ahead and start doing some doodling. I have a couple of pieces of reference art up here of a dude holding a baseball bat. If you are ever in need of good pose reference art, the Pose Archive on DeviantArt is a great source. Highly recommend them. I discovered the Pose archives when I started doing a Draw This Pose in Your Style challenge hosted by Tony Cartoonish. So anyway, that's the DeviantArt pose site I am using to kind of get an idea of a nice cool jock pose. So we'll just start by roughing in a little pose shape for our Jerk Jock, and figuring everything out from there. I'm actually going to clear this up and start over a little bit. So let's see. I know we're going to have like a body like coming out like this. Give some shoulders. Bring those ribs down. And I'm just kind of really roughing it in. So I know mostly where to put the clothing, because he's a pickle, so he doesn't have a lot of anatomy to him in real life. But that's the plan here, is to just get some sizing, proportions, and locations of things down. We're not really worried too much about the anatomy because it's a pickle. It's a pickle, guys. Really what I want to do is make sure I have like a good dynamic pose going on more than anything else. That's like what I'm really looking for. And I just kind of want him to be, this is the Jerk Jock. So this is the guy in the horror movie who thinks he can fight the slasher and will go into combat wielding a baseball bat, basically, is what I've decided on. And then get his head chopped off by Pizza Carver chainsaw, because that is how we've decided to roll for this month. So really all I'm doing here is, like I said, I just want the pose in there so that I can now draw a pickle on top of this. I'm not worried about the anatomy at all because he's a pickle. I might need to actually shrink him down a little bit though, because I want to give him some pickle stuff. Center line. There we go. All right, let's do this. Let's do some pickle shape. I was going to have him curve forward. I think I actually want to have him a little curve backward, like he's puffing out his chest a little bit. So we'll bring that shape in there. Really just something like this. I'm a pickle. I'm Pickle Rick. The joke's not going to get old. I love it. Sorry. I did it on purpose. I am to blame. I am the person who did it. You can hate me. Another little face shape. We can do a little arm action. I think I'm just going to do like literally a Letterman's jacket, because nothing screams Jerk Jock to me like a Letterman's jacket, even though I totally wore a Letterman's jacket through most of high school and I was not a jock by any means. I lettered in theater and debate. And most of my friends wore Letterman's jackets, even though they also were not jocks. They lettered in band. So, that's the fun aspect here. Maybe a little something like that, and a little feet coming down off of the pickle part. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping, because a pickle is not a lot, there's not a lot of detail. There's not a lot to a pickle. So I'm really hoping that we can do maybe 2 of these characters tonight and maybe get around to starting a different thing next week. Maybe we can finish the sticker pack and then I can work on the print or some other stuff, other projects in the upcoming weeks. All depending on some time stuff. Other things might be coming up in the near future that are going to make that a little harder. So that's kind of where I'm hoping. I'm hoping this character is simple enough that I can knock him out and maybe also fit in our donut nerd, maybe. I feel like our pretzel will probably take a little bit of extra work, if for no other reason than because I have had many troubles drawing a pretzel for some reason while sketching during the brainstorming live stream. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. Let's give him kind of a square, chunky nose here. Counteract the fact that he is a pickle. And so most of his body is going to be round. And then I'm just going to give him some determined, angry looking eye kind of things. Because he's the type of guy who thinks he can fight his way out of a slasher flick. And we all know how that goes, right? We all know you can't fight a villain like the Carver with a baseball bat. You're not Steve Harrington fighting you're not going to get karmic retribution here. I'm trying to decide on mouth expression. Maybe something a little more like this. He's angry all the time because he was forced to play baseball and what he really wanted to do was ballet. I got nothing. Maybe do give him a little chin butt. Little chin butt action going on here on top of the pickle. And then pull in some pickle body shape. Down and around. if you had asked me, I don't know, a year ago, how much of my career was going to be spent drawing cylindrical people, food people holding weapons, I would have been like, probably not a lot. I would have been like, surely the basis of my career is not going to be drawing a lot of food people, especially cylindrical food people, holding weapons. But the truth is, it's become a thing for me. It was unexpected. You never know in life what direction life is going to go. So keep an open mind, keep it open, keep your life happy, and don't worry about these things. I'm going to bring the camera down because I'm looking down a lot. So I'm going to bring it down so you can still be looking at my face. Look at my face while I'm talking. I feel like that's a good idea. All right. I'm also going to turn off studio mode so I can see things a little better over there. There we go. Okay, so basically this is our pickle body segments. I got a head, torso, legs. This is how I'm segmenting the body. Come in here, little hat action going on. Like this. Little baseball cap. That is very much not very fluid. Okay, I'm gonna do something like this. Come like there. Yeah, there we go. Bring this hat around like that. There we go. Can't believe you think you can fight the Carver. All right, now let's draw in his jacket and arms. So we'll do a little flared out pop collar kind of thing. Not really, because I feel like he should have a popped collar. Although I guarantee you that if you had taken me to my high school and said, who is the person here that is most representative of a jerk jock, that dude would have been wearing a polo shirt with a pop collar. But that was the 90s. It was a different time. Ironically, that guy probably wouldn't have been wearing a Letterman's jacket. Like I said, not super jockey at my high school. I mean, jocks had Letterman's jacket, but they didn't wear them all that often. It wasn't nearly as common for like football players to wear a Letterman's jacket as it was for the band or the wrestling team. So there's a little weird trivia fact about my high school experience. You can do with that what you will. All right, so we'll start there. I don't know why I picked an R when I was doing the sketch earlier. Just a little concept for the thumbnail. I decided that his Letterman's jacket would have an R on it, and I think it is because his name is Rick. And that's enough of a reason for me to do anything, really. So we're going to come in here now and draw the baseball bat first, so that then I can connect the hands to the baseball bat rather than trying to draw that around the other way. It's always nice to have the object line it up first. And what I'm doing right now is just kind of a rough sketch with a little bit extra details beyond just the pose. I started with just the pose sketch. Now I'm just doing a little rough sketch of detail work. And then we'll clean it up some and ink and color. So it's a real simple process. It's a sticker. You don't want to overcomplicate things with a sticker. And you don't want to over detail things either. You lose the details very quickly when you're scaling things down to like a 3-inch sticker line. So you want to just keep it simple, keep it big, bold. A lot of color is a big important part of my process. But okay, hang on, I screwed up by over erasing. There we go. So a little baseball bat nub. We'll come up here and we'll do these fingers like this. Again, not trying to be too detailed, trying to keep it pretty light, cartoony. Also, one of the things that I have been really forcing myself to work on this summer is accepting what is enough detail. Like, not going too terribly deep in the details. It's something I have, because I work digitally most of the time, it was something I was always struggling with. And when I was trying to do more ink-based art this last year, I found that a lot of the time when I was doing that, I was really having a hard time because I was trying to draw these details like I would if I was working digitally. But you can't zoom in when you work with physical media. So I wasn't able to do it. And then that kind of forced me to start rethinking how I view a lot of the details and stuff that I work on. I do want some just like pickle pimples, pickle lumps. You know, something that might imply not only is he a pickle, but also that he might be juicing. He's got that pickled juice going on. Y'all know what I mean. I was going to combine these two groups here so I can downplay that opacity and just start doing some inking. Just keeping it light and loose today, trying real hard not to do too much. It's a Monday. It's a Monday and we're going to just have a little bit of fun. So I think I'm actually going to start with boop 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 boop. That's too thick. Yeah, I'm not happy with anything today. I'm not happy with my vector brushes right now. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Sometimes when you switch to the inking phase, you start to really dislike what you're working on. That's okay. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. It's okay to not like your art. Something that came up, I was watching Voidstar Labs with Zach Friedman. He's an engineer who does a lot of stuff about 3D printing, really, and makes a lot of cool videos about cool technology stuff that I wish I was smart enough to do. Like, it's a different path and a different life. I could have been that type of nerd instead of the type of nerd that I am. But he was talking about the IKEA effect, which is actually something I'm pretty familiar with as my background in marketing. The IKEA effect is the idea that because you put time and effort into something, it has more value. So that's why they have you build your own furniture when you buy IKEA stuff. That's the whole point behind that. That's why that exists. It's why they do that. It's so that you don't realize that you're buying really cheap stuff for way too much money. And he was talking about that's a thing that comes up also with engineers, especially prototype or product design engineers like himself, because he put a lot of time and effort into something. It kind of makes his mind trick him into thinking it is better than it is. And he needs to make sure that he's not falling for that effect, for the IKEA effect. And it made me realize I think the same thing happens to artists sometimes. We have a lot of investment in the act of creating, and a lot of times for physical media artists, we have a lot of investment in the materials used to make the piece. And so we tend to think of our work as more precious than maybe it is sometimes. And we don't give ourselves permission to do things that we need to do. Like sometimes you just delete your art and start over. So I totally understand that sentiment. And I'm not meaning to imply that art is not important or anything like that, or it's not valuable. I'm just saying, like, one of the lessons that a lot of artists, especially those who try to work professionally, have to learn is to delete your art and not. It's a skill you have to learn to protect your sanity as much as anything else. Especially if you do client work, it can get real bad. Clients tend to want a whole lot of different things, and so if you fall in love with everything you draw and you're not willing to just kind of trash your work sometimes, just throw it away, then it hurts. It hurts when other people do. So that's, for me, it's one of those things where I'm like, if I don't like something I'm working on, I'll just throw it. I'll get rid of it. It's okay to delete your art. It's an important lesson. I think a lot of people here, if you watch a lot of Drawfee, like I do, Julia on Drawfee kind of says that all the time, delete your art, because she is a person who puts a lot of work into something and then will just delete it. And the other artists on the show will oftentimes give her a hard time for that. And so that aspect of it has become a bit of a gag, but I don't think it is entirely a joke when she's using it as advice to delete your art. Like, I think it's okay to start over. I think it's okay to have that feel that you want to, that it doesn't feel right. And to know that ideas are not, like, it's so hard because I don't want to be demotivating. I don't want to be like, your ideas aren't important. Ideas aren't finite, I think is the term I really want to use. Like, creativity is not a finite resource. The more you do this stuff, the easier it is to come up with new stuff. So, like, yeah, your work has value, your ideas have value, they're awesome, but like, you don't have to treat them like they're gold, and you can go through them and you're not going to ever run out. And I think that might be a big part, actually, of what a lot of people struggle with sometimes, is the idea that they're going to run out of ideas, maybe. And it's just not a thing I worry about. I've had people ask me how I come up with ideas, and I'm like, these days I have a list of so many things I want to do. It's just an overflowing list of just tons and tons of topics. So it's not even a considerative issue for me. Like, it's not even on my radar that might be an issue. It just is who I am. But I've made a regular practice of creativity. There are literally exercises that you can do to practice creativity and can practice idea generation. And once you've had enough of them, you realize how you can just kind of throw them away whenever you want, and it's not the end of the world. I think that is a very freeing and empowering emotion to have. It's also something that once you realize that you can learn it as a skill and develop it as a skill and use it as a skill, you realize how few people have. And that kind of is also empowering because it gives you maybe something that is yours and not necessarily the normal population has. So you can have that for yourself. And that's one of the things I am. That's why I live stream all my brainstorming, or I've done videos where I talk about creative process. I really like to help people learn those kinds of skills. In my former life, I did a lot of training along those lines. It just is how I work with people, you know? It's one of the things I think I bring to the table and actually can provide some cool value for others in a way that feels uniquely me. And if not uniquely me, then feels authentically me, I guess, is what the real words I'm looking for is. Because I just genuinely love that kind of stuff. And so it's something I've been really thinking about a lot of lately, is that whole creative process and sharing it and what I can do as an artist to kind of separate myself from the herd, so to speak. I think I'm going to try something a little different with these legs than what I've done so far. I think I don't like what the legs are looking right now, and I'm going to try something else. Again, just deleted it. I just undid it all. Just got rid of it. No big deal. But I am going to think a little more shapy here. Oops. See if I can't kind of maybe baggy up these jeans a little bit. That sounds like a good idea. I think what I should have done when I was doing some research on like cool poses, I probably should have done some research on how cool people who are athletic dress, because definitely not me. I couldn't tell you how cool people dress in any fashion. I am not a cool dude. I mean, I'm a cool dude, but I'm not a cool dude. You know what I mean? So not my wheelhouse, not my circus, not my pickles. Pickle Rick. Okay. I also just kind of like the idea of these jeans being kind of super baggy coming off of our boy here. Oops. Boop boo doo doo boo. Okay, there we go. And then we'll come down here. And sometimes you just need the right angle to do what you're trying to do. Your hand doesn't want to fold the way you want it to fold. That's fine. That's fine. Sometimes that's the way life is. And sometimes you can remember that you are using freaking vector brushes for a reason, and that you can draw through your stuff and delete it. You have a vector trimming tool. Use it. Abuse it. Use it and abuse it. Boo-doo-doo-boo-doo-boo. And then I think I'm actually going to... I had my original pants line up here, but now I'm going to also give him a baggy shirt that hangs down under his jacket. Like so. There we go. That is looking like a pickle dude. I'm going to go ahead and clear off this. And we're going to come in here with a real small brush and just redraw in those pickles its. You know, like you do. So a little pickles it. Little pickles it. Pickles it. I just like the idea of calling them pickles its. I don't even know what exactly the little nubbies on pickles are. I mean, I've got some pictures of pickles that I pulled up, and they definitely have little pickle nubs. What are the pickle nubs called? What are the bumps on pickles called? Trichome bumps. That's cool. They have an actual name. I just learned. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome indeed. I wonder what causes them. Sorry, now is not the time. Okay. This is looking pretty good. This is looking like a dude. This is looking like what I wanted him to look like. So we're going to go ahead and bump, bump, bump. All right, let's color him in. And I've got my greenish yellow pickle color to start with. And then I'm going to take a much darker color down here. Actually, ooh, that's an idea. What if I did the shirt as the darker green? Like that. And then the more saturated darker green on pants. Oh, maybe I'll just give him blue jeans. I do like the green on the shirt, though. I think it works pretty well. As I was going to have a two-tone pickle where he was kind of yellowy green on parts. And then I think that I probably still am. I think I'm probably still going to go ahead and draw in something like this. Actually, it's probably be better to do this with this brush or with this select tool. Something like that. That just looks like shading. Maybe my light pickle color just needs to be darker green. Just make him. We'll go with a single tone pickle color. I was gonna go with a two-tone pickle color. I really wanted to do a two-tone pickle color. And then I really want to keep with like a mostly greenish color scheme. I don't know. Let's see. What are we going to do today? Can give him a little bit of purple in there. I got some blue. So if we come down here and do like a purple on the shirt, just to have a nice high contrast. Something like that. Of course, we all know that the sleeves on our Letterman's jackets are cream colored. And maybe a dark purple. Have it be wearing a Belton Pirates Letterman's jacket. I mean, what? I didn't go to Belton High School. Yay. Go Belton. And yellow on the letter. And then we can come up here. He needs a little green in there too. And maybe we'll just make that hat purple. If it's gonna be, you know. Something like that. Give him some purple Chuck Taylors. I actually like the other purple better. It's got a higher contrast ratio. That's important to me. It's not necessarily important to real artists, but it's important to me as a person. I like high contrast, high saturated colors. It's just part of who I am as a person. I just appreciate high contrast, high saturated colors. I just do. It's who I am. I can't explain it. I can't complain about it. I am who I am, and I draw what I draw. I can explain it, actually. It's actually really easy to explain. I grew up in the 90s. And if you did not grow up in the 90s, I'm sorry, your life is so horrible. But I did grow up in the 90s, and in the 90s, we had this awesome concept. It was a movement, an aesthetic, if you will, in the parlance of the modern day kiddos. The aesthetic of the 90s was the neon ooze aesthetic. And that was like purples and greens, and everything was slimy, and it was awesome. So I can explain why I like oversaturated stuff, because they forced me to as a child, and I never grew out of it. I mean, like, these greens and purples right here are full on neon ooze. I will not. Like, there's no doubt about it. It is what it is. There's no denying. But like, literally all of the toys were like that. Our school books were colored like that. Heck, our movie theater, like our carpets were like that. It was all purple and green and oozy. You know, it was truly beautiful. I just screwed all of that up, because that shouldn't have been on this layer. There, I can fix it. Okay, there we go. Now we can redo all of that work that we just screwed up. That was supposed to be on a different layer, by coming in here and redoing it. Basically, just flat out redoing it. And multiply like that. There we go. But I still contest that there's nothing wrong with that awesome color schemes, those awesome 90s colors and looks. The people who dislike it just were missing out. You're jealous. You're jealous, Gen Z or alphas. That's not entirely fair. To be honest, the alphas that come see my stuff at the market often talk about how they like my colors. So they knew they were missing out on how awesome the 90s were. They live in a dumpster fire world. They know what's up. They're not dumb. They're smart kids. We were dumb. We didn't know how good we had it. I wish we had known how good we had it. Could have stayed there for a while. But, you know, that is the nature of life, of getting older, is realizing how much things were awesome and how much they're going to suck in the future. And I hope, my sincere hope in life, is that the chitlins today, the kids today, like, they grow up to realize how crappy they had it, because everything is so much better when they're adults. Like, that is my sincere hope for the future. That we all can look back on this time and be like, man, that sucked. I'm glad it's over. And I feel confident that's what's going to happen. I mean, how could it not, right? Like, how could anything else possibly? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to finish that thought because I need to knock on wood. Don't tempt fate. That's another life lesson I have definitely learned the hard way. Don't tempt fate. So we're just going to come in here. I think I'm going to draw in some shading behind this arm. going backwards down our dude here. Like so. Let me just fill it in. I'm actually pretty happy with this. I probably need to start making sure I do a warm-up image before when I start streaming, because I usually am hypercritical of my first drawing of the day. And the last couple of streams, I only did one drawing. So, this one makes me feel a little better because I feel like this came out exactly as I had it in my head from the beginning. Fairly easily on the first try. There wasn't a whole lot of decisions to be made. Pickles are not a particularly complex shape, so it was easier for me. But I think that looks pretty good. I think that's my Pickle Jock. This guy is a big deal. Oh, he's Pickle Rick. No relation. I think I am going to actually add some highlights because we have a little bit more time. How's it going? How is your Monday afternoon? I hope you're having a glorious Monday. I'm having a pretty decent Monday. I actually applied for a job today, and here is the crazy part. A human being reached out to me, and I think that's the first time in a very long time that's happened. Wasn't like setting up an interview or anything. Your Monday is chaos. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that you are at least enjoying and thriving in the chaos. Sometimes we need chaos. Sometimes chaos is the solution to all of life's problems. So hopefully it's good chaos. But yeah, I put in a resume, and an actual person texted me because apparently on their online submission service, it did not go through where I currently am living. My current address did not go through fully. And so she just had the town. And my last job was in Montana. And so when she texted me, she was like, I just want to make sure you know that this is an on-site job. There's no chance for remote work here. And I was like, yeah, I'm actually in Missouri. That's fine. I'm not that I'm in the area. So it was very exciting because an actual human being reached out to me, and that doesn't happen very often anymore. Okay. Maybe just add a little bit of shiny on the outline of his jeans. I am just drawing details to draw details at this point. This character is basically done. And I have an illness. I have an illness that makes me draw details. So we're going to stop. I'm going to stop myself. Stop myself before I get too much further. And call this Rick Dillman. This is Rick Dillman, our Jerk Jock, and I think I'm actually going to smush him a little bit more like that. There we go. Rick Dillman, Jerk Jock, made of a pickle. He's Pickle Rick, no relation. Yes, I did name him Pickle Rick for exactly that reason. Like, I am not going to lie. I named this character Rick because of Rick and Morty. And I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be a fun way to do a little tribute to Harmon Productions. and a cartoon that I enjoy. I don't know. I'll have to look at my other ones. Did I do thicker outlines on the other characters? It's something I've been playing with a little bit in some of my like personal drawing time and really enjoying it. It doesn't look like I did, so I'm not going to worry about that here. Okay. So we'll call this guy here. And that means now I have time. It is only 4:45, which means I have time to draw a second character. I have time to draw a donut nerd. Let's find a nerd pose reference image in the Deviant to the pose archives. This guy is way too cool to have nerd poses. I should probably look for nerd reference art on a bigger scale. Oh. What are we thinking? I can just go. Let's draw a donut first. Let's start with that. We'll go. Oops. Start with a donut. So donut is a big round dude like this. We got a little hole in him. Little donut hole texture. What type of donut is the nerdiest type of donut? That's the other question we're gonna have to answer. See if I can find a picture of a donut, like an actual real donut at 3/4 angle, so I can decide how I want to do this. The hole. I'm going to smush you like this, and then bring this in like this. So this is a little face like this direction. Whoop, 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 whoop. I think we'll do some eyes up here. Definitely glasses. A bear claw. A bear claw is the nerdiest donut. I feel like bear claw is probably the least nerdy donut. Bears are not nerdy, which I guess could also make it funny. Bear claw donut. I googled bear claw for reference art, and it gave me an actual bear claw image, which is not gonna work well. So you know what? I don't know if I've ever actually had a bear claw, but it makes sense why it's called that. So a bear claw. We've got two options. We can go like this, or wide. So here's I'm thinking punny. You're thinking bear claw is punny for a nerd? Do we want our nerd to be wide or tall? That's a $64 million question here. Right now, I feel like our final girl and our jock are tall, and our comic relief is wide. So we've got two tall characters and a wide character. But with that kept in mind, the final character we have for the living cast is a pretzel. And so she's probably going to be a little wide, and a challenge because if his weapon is a bee. His weapon was a literal bear claw. Okay. My challenge for the pretzel is going to be, how do I make a pretzel fan servicey? Have I told you guys how much fun I'm having with this challenge? Like, just the idea of how this art comes to be. I think I'm gonna make him like this because I think the nerd trope is a little more wide, or a little more like tall and thin is a nerd trope. Do a little pretzel or pastry shaping here. I'm not entirely sure how you make a bear claw. They're glazed donuts. That looks yummy. And that causes them to swell like this. All right, and then we'll give him a little neckline so that we can have arms like this. And of course, that would be his bottom. Little leg attachment places. All of the, by the way, if you do nerd pose reference art on Bing, you get basically people wearing glasses like this, just thumbing their suspenders. So apparently, suspenders and glasses are what makes you a nerd in the modern ecosystem. So, I'm fine with that, I guess. Little face on there. I have no idea what I want to have him doing yet. I did not put any thought at all whatsoever into drawing a nerd tonight. So I have no idea for sure what I want to have this nerd doing. Yeah, don't know. No, what does a nerd do what does the nerd do in the horror film? Okay. Glazed BFFs with the nachos because they're both partake. Yeah, that works. I can work that into something. So I pulled up a Screen Rant article, which is old enough. Nope, it's from May. So I pulled up a Screen Rant article, which is 99% probably written by AI. And it's just representation of the tropes. So we want to find the scholar is the nerd scholar is the trope we're looking for. And how they work out into. So their representations are Seth Brundle from The Fly. That's literally Jeff Goldblum's character, which I could work with. Dr. Frankenstein and Mindy from Scream. I don't remember Mindy from Scream. Is that the new Scream? I wish they wouldn't remake / make sequels without numbers. If you're going to make a sequel, give it a freaking number. Don't just call it Scream again. It's bad for business. Yes, Mindy Meeks Martin from the new Screams movie whose rules help keep the heroes alive. Okay. So she is a nerd who is also the plucky comic relief, apparently. And then the image in this article is actually stolen from Reanimator, which is one of my favorite Lovecraftian flicks. So maybe we give this character some Jeff Goldblum flowing locks and Jeff Goldblum expression. I do like the idea of the stoner and the nerd being friends, because I am a giant nerd. And in my experience, that's accurate, that stoners and nerds become friends. Of course, we'll concede the trope of glasses, and we'll even concede the trope of glasses with tape on them. Literally anyone who's worn glasses knows that's true. Should we do a full-on actually hand here? Is that sounds like fun? Like maybe a finger, I don't know, like here, coming off this way, off that side. Actually, and then maybe just because it is the right shape, and I feel like SpongeBob is a nerd, We'll do a little SpongeBob like pants action here with little skinny legs coming off of her shaped pants where you can see the edge of the pastry. I think that works. And on this side, what do we with the other hand to be doing? If we've got one hand that's like actually, what do we with the other hand to do? It's hard. This is why it was easier for me to do the sticker posing for the Eldritch Breakfast Club, because every character in the Breakfast Club has kind of like an iconic scene for them. So it was pretty easy to be like, oh yeah, this is the pose this character is going to do. So when I was drawing the nerd for that, I could just draw Anthony Michael Hall like holding himself about to have a nervous breakdown, because that's his character arc. The only character in that movie that doesn't get a girl, get a relationship. I think this SpongeBob inspired mess is going to be our basis. So I'm just going to start drawing in some details, I think. I did want more Jeff Goldblum in this face, so I'm going to pull up Jeff Goldblum. But not just modern Jeff Goldblum. I want Jeff Goldblum from the 80s, from The Fly. I want young Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, that's the stuff. He's not wearing a shirt. He's all muscular. If you are not a fan of Jeff Goldblum, what's wrong with you? But also, like, if you are a fan of Jeff Goldblum, I highly recommend, if you haven't seen them in a long time, or if you've never seen them at all, going back and rewatching some of his awesome 80s movies, especially like The Fly, which is body horror. So I don't particularly think it's awesome. It's well made, but I don't do well with the Cronenbergs. But if you really want to see my favorite Jeff Goldblum movie, and it is insane all the star power this movie has when you find out what it is. It is one of the most star-studded films of the 80s that most people have never heard of or seen. Earth Girls Are Easy. Not the one I was thinking of, but okay. The best Jeff Goldblum movie of the 80s, Buckaroo Banzai, Beyond the Ninth Dimension. It is Jeff Goldblum. It's got Peter Weller's, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun. It's got everybody in this movie. It is insane how truly star-studded the cast is. John Lithgow, that's who I couldn't think of. Christopher Lloyd is in this movie. It's just, Buckaroo Banzai is one of the greatest things ever. Earth Girls Are Easy. I think that I actually watched that not too long ago. I can't remember why. Maybe I was Lithgow. Yeah. I can't remember why I watched it. Maybe it was I didn't even watch it. Maybe I watched. I'm a big fan of. There's a YouTube channel. Brandon. What is Brandon's last name? Tivolt. He's a Canadian guy who does videos where he reviews and recaps B horror films and like exploitation films and stuff like that. And he's a genius. He's great at what he does. And I might have watched his review of Earth Girls Are Easy not that long ago. I really enjoy his YouTube channel. If you are a fan of bad movies or just old movies, cult classics, I highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel. I will try to pull it up and add it to the description of this live stream so that anyone who is watching can find his channel. It's great. It's Brandon's Movie Reviews is what it's called. And it's Tenolds, Tenolds. Brandon Tenolds Cult Movie Reviews. And he does, I mean, it's not just like what am I trying to say here? It's not just bad movies. Like, he also talks about like the claymation stop motion films of like the 30s and 40s. Like, I mean, he goes into the history of cult movies in general and just does some really cool stuff with it. I highly recommend his channel if you like that kind of stuff. If you're the same flavor of nerd as I am. Did I make this bear claw look too much like Jeff Goldblum? Is that a possibility? Is that a thing that can happen? Is it possible for anything to look too much like Jeff Goldblum? I don't think it is. I think I'm going to live with it because I don't think that's possible. I think that's the right amount of Jeff Goldblum. But I do think this mouth needs a little bit of tweaking. Because it needs to come over further. Then we need more teeth. Jeff Goldblum is a teethy guy. If anyone asks, this is 100% Jeff Goldblum from The Fly, so he counts as a nerd. And also, it still fits because I am pretty sure there is gratuitous drug use in that movie. Also, I can't remember before or after he becomes Brendel Fly, but it definitely happens. I forgot to draw in this finger was going to be there. Actually. Also, if you are a giant nerd and like giant nerd trivia and like comedy, another recommendation I can make right at this moment would be to get a Dropout subscription. Because actually on Dropout is a brilliant game show. One that maybe one day I will be lucky enough and famous enough to be able to be on. And win. Absolutely nothing for it. I'm going to get rid of the tie. I think the tie is a little over the top. And I didn't leave enough room with my giant Goldblum face to have tie. But I am going to go ahead and put a collar on him. And I think suspenders. And we're going to go full on the suspenders that have the buttons. Like that. And then we'll just draw in some legs. All right, this is feeling good. Some big brown stompy shoes, all SpongeBob style. I feel perfectly content with all of the life choices that led me to draw a bear claw, Jeff Goldblum, SpongeBob hybrid monster. I am happy with what I have done with my life. Okay. That's our dude. I think we're going to go ahead and start doing some inking. I think this is a good dude. And just bring this down. This might be too thick. It is, because I thickened it up to play with other stuff earlier. And some flared nostril action. You can't have gold bloom without some flared nostril action. And there's some mouth shape. Teeth shape. Life finds a way. That's not a very good gold bloom impersonation, but dang it, it's what I got in me right now. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to my Patreon supporters, because you guys exist. Y'all exist. And because y'all exist, I get to draw a Jeff Goldblum SpongeBob SquarePants Bear Claw hybrid monster teenager thing. And that is magical to me that exists. It really genuinely is very exciting to me. And it really means a lot that I have your support and that I get to do this. And even if I get the job that I just put in a resume for, I'll still do this. I just might have to change my schedule up some for when I'm going to be able to do it. But this is the plan. Like, this is the goal in life, is to keep doing this forever and ever. But the job would give me health insurance and stable income. And those are things that are hard to turn down when you're on medication. So here's hoping. Send those thoughts and prayers out into the universe, whatever you got for me. That good vibes energy. If you're inclined to sacrifice a goat or a marmot on my behalf, I'm not going to say no. Now that I've inked him in, he looks a little bit less gold bloomy, but still pretty gold bloomy. I'm still happy with it. I'm just going to draw in some curvy hair, wavy waves. You can never have too much gold bloom in your life. Don't know why I was even questioning it. Why would I ever think, does this have too much gold bloom influence? There's no such thing as too much gold bloom influence. I'm going to have a gold bloom marathon now. The world needs, I need more gold blooming in my life. I wonder what he's up to right now. Jean-Yves. Bienvenue. I wonder what Goldblum is up to right now, other than just making apartments commercials. Is Jeff Goldblum one of the hosts on one of those reality shows, like America's Got Talent or something like that? I don't know. So, Yeti Detective, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday afternoon. You missed out so far. We have drawn the Pickle Jock, Rick Dillman. And now we are working on our Donut Nerd. And it was decided that our Donut Nerd would be a bear claw. And so he's a bear claw. But also, while looking up, those commercials are so weird. He's the wizard in the Wicked movie. Oh, sweet. Awesome. While looking up famous horror movie nerds, the internet reminded me that Jeff Goldblum existed as the Brundlefly, the best internet nerd horror movie nerd there was. So, I used it as an excuse to draw Jeff Goldblum in what has become a horrible mashup of a bear claw. Of basically, it's Jeff Goldblum, SpongeBob SquarePants, and a bear claw. So, and then of course I pointed out that Jeff Goldblum's best 80s movie was Buckaroo Banzai. Although Earth Girls Are Easy was given some contention to that premise. So what do you think? What do you think, Yeti Detective? What is Jeff Goldblum's best 80s movie? Keep in mind that Jurassic Park is a 90s movie. What do you believe is Jeff Goldblum's best 80s movie? And bonus challenge, you can't say Buckaroo Banzai because I already said it. And you can't say Earth Girls Are Easy because Tricerabear already said it. So what do you think is what is at this point your favorite 80s Jeff Goldblum movie that has not yet been announced? This is a fun game because there are so many great Jeff Goldblum movies. It's like you can't go wrong with a Jeff Goldblum movie. Not really. All right, let's do little feet circles like so. And then just bring these down. Little legs. It's always, honestly, I'd say Buckaroo Banzai, but he's kind of a side character in it. That's true. But I was pointing out earlier, Buckaroo Banzai has so many stars in it. It's hard to rule it out from anybody, really. And you could say he's the sidekick character. I choose The Fly. I think that's the first thing I ever saw him in, and I was not old enough to be watching that. I 100% can tell you the first time I saw The Fly, I was definitely not old enough to be watching that. And it might have also been the first thing I ever saw Jeff Goldblum in. Except maybe I saw Jurassic Park in theaters when it was brand new. And I saw The Fly probably on like HBO or Cinemax or something like that. Although, here's the thing about me and getting exposed to horror movies that I should not have been seeing at way too young an age, is that my older brother is 7 years older than me, and he was always forcing me to watch stuff that I was way too young to watch, causing me to have horrible nightmares and crippling anxiety. I think I have mentioned many times today already, I do not really like horror movies. And part of that is because I was exposed to them at a very young age and it kind of messed me up pretty bad. I have many times told people I don't like horror movies because it's already bad enough inside my head. And part of that is because I got exposed to them too young. I used to have I think one of a big thing for me, this is a big true story. We used to spend summers with my grandmother, and she had a crazy huge movie collection, but that's not entirely relevant to this story. We used to go and rent movies from the IGA. Yeah, that's right. IGA. in the town she lived in. And my older brother, Paramin, I think most people know that Paramin is my older brother, loved horror movies and specifically loved Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Although I think he pretty much loves any horror movie. If he was here, he would probably tell you that he is the horror aficionado of the family. But he would rent the Nightmare on Elm Street movies from the IGA. And they would wait until I was in bed to watch them, which, you know, awesome. But here was the thing is that, like, the bunk beds I slept in were literally like through an open doorway to where they were watching the TV. So the TV was just out of sight, but I could hear everything that was on it. And then they would watch, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. My older cousins would. My brother and my older cousins. So I heard Nightmare on Elm Street more than saw it. And as we've already established, my brain is a terrifying nightmare place, and it has been most of my life. So it filled in the gaps. And I think I created a construct of Freddy Krueger that was way more terrifying to me than by the time I actually saw a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy Krueger ever was even remotely close to. Like, never as terrifying as what I thought in my head because of that. Okay, I'm going to give this nerd some brown shoes. But I want a little bit more saturation in the brown. What do you guys think? What do you think of this nerd? This bear claw nerd. Maybe we give him a little bit of flaky, a little more yellow in the crust on parts. Like, I'm going to come in here. Oops, I forgot to color in the glasses also. And do on the jock, I wanted to have more like secondary color, and it didn't work out. So I'm going to do that on this guy. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I don't like that. It's not working out for me. I do want more golden brown than this though. So let's see if I can't strike a balance here. Let's go this and then bring that yellow up. Golden brown? That's a little more like what I'm looking for. Golden brown. That works pretty well, I think. All right, and then we'll do just black on the glasses. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, silly. There we go. This is our heavily inspired by Jeff Goldblum Bear Claw nerd. All right, I'm going to do the shading real fast. I do want to finish this image before I call it a night. So that'll get out of the way. And I'm on the right layer. Was not on the right layer when I went to shade in the jock earlier. Very humiliating. Not really. I'm kind of getting used to being bad at my job. I hope you guys are getting used to me being bad at it too. But we did manage to get 2 of these done today, which means that on Wednesday, I will try my best to, on Wednesday, we only have to worry about our pretzel lady. Because if we do our pretzel on Wednesday, then on Friday, we can spend the entire stream working on the real star of the show, the real important character that we all know we want to see. We can work on the Carver on Friday. And then I probably will not do the print designs online on the stream. Because I kind of like having surprises for you guys sometimes. Although I do show the print off usually in the previews, so maybe not. But I do have a few things I want to work on for November's Patreon pack. I've been working this weekend. I spent some time working on some surprises to go in the October Patreon pack. And so if you are an October subscriber, I hope you enjoy the cool stuff you've got coming your way. It's a very different thing than anything I've ever done before. So I hope it is enjoyable. I hope you guys like it. It's actually something I've kind of wanted to try my hand on, as far as a thing that I've kind of wanted to do since I was very small, like since high school. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's a whole new thing, and I hope that you have a lot of fun with it. I think you will. I think you will enjoy it a bit. So that'll be fun, a fun thing to talk about once everyone has their October packs, because I think it'll be great. I am going to miss, I'll tell you what, I was really excited this month when I got to do when I gave away the packs at the market I got to see the live reactions from most of my patrons on the surprises in their sticker packs this month, and it was a lot of fun for me. I really enjoyed that. I wish I could always see the live reactions of the patrons getting their surprises. So maybe if you wanted to, if you're a member of the Patreon and you wanted to give me a little surprise of my own to bring me a little joy in life, if you wanted to, you could do a Instagram or TikTok, or do a little unboxing video, a little reel or story or something, and tag me in it, and then I could see your unboxing reaction, because I think you're gonna all enjoy what I've put into the next set of packages. And if you're not currently a Patreon member, you can head over to patreon.com/Taco Viking Studios, link in the description. And you could get your hands on some great stickers, including, I happen to have a guy sitting right here, a little bipolar werewolf sticker. If you sign up by the end of October, you can get your hands on the Monstrous Support Group sticker set entirely. It's a bunch of classic monsters, each of which has been used as an allegory for mental health issues or neurodiversity in literature, have joined a support group to kind of give each other a little help and celebrate what makes them unique and not just monsters. The print for the month is includes a written an original poem written by me in the style of Shel Silverstein. Oops, I went to the wrong layer, not for the art, but for the effect. I wrote an original poem in the style of Shel Silverstein, specifically Shel Silverstein's truly great poem, Magic. And did art print with the ballpoint pen scriggly style of Shel Silverstein to go with the poem. I think it turned out really well. I'm really excited about it. That is the art print and sticker pack. The stickers are all members of the Monster Support Group, with Patreon supporters being the only ones who had access to the Grim Reaper, who serves as their group support their group counselor. So you can sign up before October 31st midnight and be able to still get that and the surprises I was talking about, because there's some cool stuff in there. And I am calling this our nerd. I think this turns out pretty good. I'm going to go ahead, move you over here so that anyone new to the stream right now can see our Pickle Jock. Pickle Jock right there, ready to go. He's got his little baseball bat. He's ready to take on the Carver. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you've had a good time. It's been a Monday. It's been a Monday evening. It's almost 5:30 exactly. It's a good time for me to call it a night. I will be back on Wednesday, October 30th. Halloween Eve, All Hallows Eve, if you will. And we will be drawing Twistina, the Ms. fan service pretzel character in the Carver sticker pack. And then if we get her done early, we might work on the Carver. We might not. I'm probably not planning to, but we will definitely work on the Carver, our slasher, who is a pizza carver with pizza carver hands, wields a chainsaw pizza carver, and is also a vampire, on Friday, November 1st. And one last time, I'm going to throw this out there for the year. I will be on Commercial Street in Springfield, Missouri, Thursday night from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.-ish. With art and stickers and all the things. Come out and say hi. It is not a full-blown market day. What it actually is we're doing a trunk or treat for the little kids. And once the sun goes down, they're going to do a live screening of The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I hope that if you are in the area and you love Halloween as much as I do, you come by and check it out. Come see us. Thank you for joining me as I have drawn a couple of more characters in our sticker pack. Again, if you want to get your hands on these guys, go ahead and head over and join the Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday. And remember, as always,